All right, we are back again today. As you can see, got everything laid out. I'm gonna go ahead and change out this air compressor. This is a reman or rebuilt one from JJ Rebuilders out of Florida. And we're gonna go in and change out the air compressor. As I said, once it builds, it does build pressure, but once it builds up the pressure, it's leaking. And I'm thinking where the leak is coming from is from this little cap on the bottom here. So I'm gonna go ahead and change it out, and I'll have my original one in here. I'll go ahead and take a look at it and get it rebuilt so I don't have a spare, but definitely can't have any air leaks. So first thing I'm going to do though is take this right here off, and then I will loosen the coolant lines, and then I will get everything loose, get the power steering pump off, and we'll come back. Okay, I tried for about an hour. PB blaster on it, WD-40, hammer, chisel. Could not loosen this nut, and I do not want to damage it, so I am going to try another option, or I may just implement my plan B, which is pretty dramatic, but we'll see. Could not get this thing broken free. Hammered it, put a big ass pipe wrench on it, and it's just, you know, the awkward. Had a cheetah bar here and put on the end, you know, trying to get some leverage, but it's not budging. Probably need to heat it up, but I don't have a torch, so I feel defeated right now. But I'm just kind of not in the mood anymore. So, you know, you're working on this thing, you gotta have your mind clear and set on what it is you're doing. So I'm just gonna call it a day for now. After trying and trying and trying, I finally got this bolt to turn. Struggle, big struggle, but I let the PB oil sit on it for 3 or 4 days. I was running around doing stuff for everybody else, so I finally was able to get it to turn. Thank goodness. Man, it is a monster trying to get it. Let's see if I can set you up here. Yep, finally got it to turn. I let the PB oil sit on it for 3 or 4 days while I was babysitting the grandson. So today is Friday. Friday the 26th or something like that. And I finally got it to turn. And I'm using the flashlight out here even though it's daylight because I wanted to make sure that this wasn't turning. But it's finally turning. Yeah. Even though I got it loose, it's still a little tough, but she's a turning. And now I can try it with a smaller pipe wrench. See what I get. I couldn't have no leverage with this thing. There we go. Oh yeah, she's turning now. Oh yeah. taking this off first because it has to come out so that I can get to it, and I probably gotta take this off too, but I wanted to get this because this was the most difficult. All right, we'll come back. All right, I got the 2 bolts out of the power steering pump, and this is the top bolt. I'm gonna place it here, and that's the bottom bolt. This bottom bolt is kind of hidden, and I had to get it from underneath. It is located, I can show it to you. It is underneath the pump. You just have to kind of feel for it, get your ratchet on there, and get it loose. And now we're gonna work the power steering pump out of the back of the compressor. All right, let's see. Oh, great. All right. And there we go. Power steering pump is out. 2 bolts. I'm just kind of let it sit out of the way. There we go. And now, got a couple of bolts to work on for the compressor itself. I gotta take that little block out. The little block holds it in. I think I gotta take that out. 1 bolt there. And that holds it in. And we got 1 bolt there. Got 1, 2, 3. And of course that other one's gonna be hidden over there. If we look at the replacement pump. Okay. The replacement pump looks like it's got 4 bolts. Got 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a really bad spot. So we'll keep chugging away at it. And yes, you must drain your coolant before you remove your air compressor, because coolant does run through the top of the compressor. Asking around, no one actually says this specifically. They don't say specifically, step 1, drain your coolant, because there's 2 coolant lines that are on top of the compressor. So it's a good idea to drain your coolant so you don't have this issue that I'm having. Once I took that line out, I'm now leaking coolant. So now I'm gonna go and drain the coolant. Well, there it is, got it out. 8 o'clock. You know, started late, then had to go and get a couple of large wrenches, and then just had that 1 bolt that was on the bottom, this backside here, that I had to figure out how to get in there, and I figured it out. You have to get your extension, go right in this slot right here and slide all the way down to meet that bolt. And once I got on it, came right out. So that's it for today. I will the refurbished one already has the fittings on it, so I will adjust this to the same direction as those, and got my new gasket. We'll stick it in tomorrow. So like I said, you do have to drain your coolant. It's best to drain your coolant first, then disconnect that little block there, and it had 2 additional bolts on it that was holding the wire. Take those loose, and then remove your power steering pump, 2 bolts, lay it out of the way, and then take your 4 bolts out. Well, take your air line out, this line out, and this line, and get it out of the way, which is this one. And this was really difficult to come loose, but PB oil, let it sit for 2 or 3 days, and it started coming, and it loosened up very well and came out. And then this just connects to here. Show you where this connects. This just connects on here like so. So just undo that clamp, slides right off. So I will put this onto the new one, and the new one, or new to me, has these fittings already, this fitting and these fittings. So I will just change everything over and get it pointed in the right direction, and we will be good to go. All right, on the next one. All right, I'm about to go back in with the replacement compressor. I am going to place the timing notch for the compressor in the right place. This notch on the compressor, and there's a little X here. It's supposed to be lined up with this notch, and I'm not going to try to turn the motor over and get it in its position, but I'm going to make sure that the compressor is in its right place. So hopefully that's will suffice. So I just put a little chapstick on here to help hold this gasket in place while I put the compressor back in. But this little X should be lined with this notch pretty much right on. So we will see if we can get it back in now and get this thing wrapped up. All right. And we finally have the compressor back in, all buttoned down. Got the coolant lines reconnected, and I was moving right along. Then I said I was going to start on the power steering pump, and I said, oh, let me get the gasket. And I just spent the last 45 minutes looking for this silly little gasket that I had stuffed away in a box, and thought I had it out. But anyway, 45 minutes gone, maybe even an hour. Got the gasket now. I'm going to go get that cleaned off. When I took the coolant lines off, I hadn't drained the coolant, so that's where all that liquid is. coolant was leaking, so I had to stop, drain the coolant, let the coolant drain, but not before I made a mess on the side of the engine. But either way, we're going back with the power steering pump now. I have the gasket. I'm going to clean that off a little and put that back on. It's only 2 bolts, so shouldn't be long.